Today's top stories at NBR: tech company raises a further $1.5 million. Judith Collins, former press secretary, signs on to new media venture. Canterbury-based solar energy startup secures $4 million. And there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Wednesday, December 8th. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. The proposed distribution of a confidential settlement reached in the $100 million class action against Anz Bank over its role in the David Ross Ponzi fraud has been challenged by investor Bruce Tichborne. In 2019, legal action on behalf of more than 500 Ross asset management investors was filed against ANZ, alleging dishonest assistance, knowing receipt and negligence by the bank contributing to their losses. The claim, funded by LPF Group, included allegations that ANZ knew Ross held client funds on their behalf and that Ross was misapplying client funds to reduce his firm's overdraft liabilities. Auckland tech company Nextu has raised a further $1.5 million from emerging venture capital firm Maker Partners to develop its home services platform. These guys are the best investors and partners for me to take the business to the next stage, Nextu founder Sakshin Narajan said, and that sourcing capital from Maker was a no-brainer. Maker is a so far informal grouping of outgoing Morrison & Co. chief executive Marco Bodziewski, former telco executive Rod Snodgrass, VMG Group co-founder Jonathan Reed and tech entrepreneur Herman Walter-Rao. Nextu styles itself as an Uber for home services such as lawn mowing and cleaning, with its online platform allowing customers to book fixed-price services from approved providers. More than half of New Zealand's businesses have fallen victim to ransomware cyber attacks in the past year, according to research from Aura Information Security. Of the 55% successfully attacked, 67% of businesses were able to resolve the breach before any significant damage was done, but the other 33% experienced serious disruption to their businesses. The research by Aura, which is owned by Cordia Group, also found a relatively high proportion of New Zealand businesses, 64%, would be willing to pay to regain access to their data, with 8% indicating they would pay more than $100,000. Cordia Chief Information Security Officer Hilary Watson said whether your business chooses to pay a ransom or not, these types of attacks have the potential to be very costly. It's understood Judith Collins' former press secretary Annie O'Brien has signed on to Sean Plunkett's new The Platform media venture. O'Brien recently left her role as press secretary for the National Party after Judith Collins was rolled in a leadership reshuffle that saw Chris Luxon assume the top job. Prior to that, she had been director of digital and before that senior researcher with the party, having worked with them for a total of 9 months. On leaving Parliament, O'Brien said at the time she'd be returning to the private sector as new opportunities beckoned. Also signed to the venture is former talk show host, author and local government politician Michael Laws. Canterbury-based solar energy startup Salagri has secured $4 million in its Series A capital raise that will allow it to start converting dairy farms to solar at no upfront cost to farmers. The investment by Australian private equity firm SDA Solar followed an unsuccessful attempt to raise the same amount via a Pledge Me campaign in August-September. Queensland-based SDA Solar has taken just under a quarter stake in the startup. Two NZX-listed food companies, Agribusiness Scales Corporation and fish farmer NZ King Salmon, updated their full-year earnings guidance on Wednesday, both in positive directions. Scale said it expected underlying net profit for the year ending December 31, 2021 to be at the upper end of its previous guidance of $32 to $37 million. And NZ King Salmon revised its EBITDA forecast for the year ending January 31, 2022 to the range of $10.5 to $12.5 million, up from its previous guidance of $8 to $10 million. In a note to the NZX, the company said although trading conditions remain challenging, it's seen a sustained gain in its financial performance and an improvement in fish size due to a change in farming model. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, in his weekly politics column, Brent Edwards asks how important will finance spokesperson Simon Bridges be to the party's chances at the next election, while an OIA request has turned up Reserve Bank advice on the impact of higher interest rates on mortgage holders. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow from around lunchtime for the morning's NBR trending stories, then same time, same place again, right here from 5:30 tomorrow for another NBR Today.